Welcome to the Breakdown, recorded June 18th, 2020. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world right now that you may not have heard about. Now, these are my opinions on these stories. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. First though, if you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. And hopefully we can help you discover some stories you didn't know about. Now real quick, this is probably going to be my last makeshift video like this. The new studio is almost ready. Some of the new backdrop stuff is up. I'm putting the soundproofing up this weekend. So next week we'll be back in, or should say we'll be in the new studio, back in a more better place to shoot these videos, I think. I'm very excited to show it to you. Hang tight with me. We'll be there real soon. So let's get into the stories of the day. And thanks for hanging in here with me through this move to a new place. All right, Apple is cracking down in the App Store on apps that try to avoid paying Apple part of their subscription fees. Apple has a policy, like many other app stores, that to do subscriptions to them, you have to pay them a fee. They get a cut of the subscriptions. That's why some pretty prominent subscription services have dropped the ability to subscribe in-app through Apple. Now, Hey.com is complaining that their app is been blocked because they don't allow subscribers to subscribe through Apple because they don't want to give Apple the cut. It's a pretty significant part of the subscription price. According to the CTO of Basecamp, they say Apple is acting like, quote, gangsters, according to a Verge story. Now this is very interesting. There is a lot of precedent for this. You know, Apple owns the App Store, they develop it, they have the ability to, charge what they want, ask people to give them whatever cut they want to use it. But there's been a recently growing amount of pushback against this practice, as a growing number of both large and small companies are saying, we don't want to give that cut. In a world where online subscription services to a wide range of different products are becoming more competitive and more common, a lot of people don't want to give a cut of that to Apple or Google or Amazon and different places. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, a question to you. A lot of these apps that go through Apple charge more. Does that bother you? Are you willing to pay more for the convenience of billing it all through Apple? Or are you somebody who would rather go to, in this case, Hey.com, which is a website, I'll be honest, I wasn't even familiar with. Go there, subscribe, and then log in with your username and password on the app instead. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And do you think Apple should be taking such a big cut just for the fact that they manage the App Store? I'd love to hear from you. All right, if you live in San Francisco, you may have heard some new whistling sounds. Recently, the Golden State Bridge was slightly remodeled with new railings that were designed to help block the wind for pedestrians walking on it. Unfortunately, it's also created a very loud hissing noise when you go over the bridge. The wind comes and hits these barriers and creates a hissing noise that makes it very difficult for people to enjoy a leisurely walk across the San Francisco Golden State Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge, excuse me, not State, Golden Gate. I know people are going to get me on that. I apologize. But yeah, law of unintended consequences seems to have popped up here as people are now enjoying the less breezy bridge, but their ears are not enjoying the sound it's making. So let me know, do you live in San Francisco? Have you heard this new whistle? Apparently reports are it can be heard quite a distance away from the bridge now. All right, have you ever been somebody on a road trip that has a partner who wants to stop for the bathroom and you really don't want to? I know I'm kind of somebody who, if I eat an hour or so later, I have to go to the bathroom. I don't know why, just kind of been that way. But according to a report out of South Carolina, a wife's request to stop and use the bathroom has won her husband $500,000. Apparently, he wasn't all that thrilled about the idea of having to stop to go to the bathroom. For her, he wanted to get there. You probably know somebody who's like that. I'm driving, I want to get there, I don't want to stop for anything. Well, they stopped, she used the bathroom, he bought a lottery ticket and won $500,000. So husbands, spouses, whoever you may be, if your partner says they have to go to the bathroom, maybe you should play the lottery. Maybe that $500,000 could have been yours. All right, so it is election year, and while we're not getting political here is an interesting story out of Idaho. There was a deadlock competition last week for a congressional precinct committee, there between two Republicans that was tied. So they solved it by a coin flip. And I looked into this. Apparently that is a lot more common than you'd believe. In several, for instance, primary caucuses in Iowa, that has happened to presidential elections too, where they flip a coin. And this is often done for things like, precincts and more, where they don't want to do a whole nother election if it's a tie. So I want to know from you, what do you think about your elected official winning from a coin flip? I remember in high school, I was sick one day, came back. It was kind of a small high school class, and it turned out the presidential election was tied, and myself and one other person was going to be the deciding vote. So two of us were gone that day. They had us come in. We actually had to listen to a quick spiel from both the candidates, and we both were drawn because remember that we were going to vote for one guy, but the girl was extremely passionate, let's just say that she really wanted this. And I remember the president of the principal left and the two presidential candidates left, and both of the girl and I kind of looked at each other like, we kind of want the other guy to get our votes, but she made an extremely passionate, emotional speech to become the president. So her and I agreed that we would 50-50 it and split our votes so they would both be the president of the year. And that's what happened. They both ended up being president of the class. No coin flip needed. But I want to let know, have you ever had an election which was that close? And what do you think of the coin flip? All right, down in, I forgot to write down the city, but Nicholas River from the Beaumont Civic Center. Isn't that in Texas? Somebody help me out there. But there was a bottle found with a 30-year-old message in it and an address. And after an online plea, a postal worker who's been working for over 30-some years in this area was able to help the boys find the homeowner. And it turns out the homeowner still lived at that address. So the address was actually a one no longer used. Back in the 70s, apparently, this address was created. But when 911 came around, they changed the address to make it more easily findable by 911 and police and fire and more. But the postal worker, after seeing the report on local news about this address found in a 30-year-old bottle, found it. And it turns out it was just a guy fishing with his son who, I guess he said, to use a glass Yahoo bottle as part of his fishing lure set. And he would put his addresses on them so he could find them later or not mix them up with other people's. And they found it and returned it to him 30 years later. So glass bottles, I guess those messages in a bottle still get found even if they weren't intended to be a message in a bottle. All right, are you concerned about social distancing? Amazon wants to help you out with that. They're using Amazon's artificial intelligence to monitor using cameras when people get too close. When that happens, they can notify them through like a bell or a app on their phone to notify them, maybe a vibrating wristband that says you're too close for social distancing to whoever you're working next to. Now, this brings up a lot of questions. I know most businesses now have security cameras, but how do you feel about them taking those security cameras and putting artificial intelligence, AI, behind them to help them discover if you are, in this case, getting too close to another work colleague? Or what happens if they start using this for a whole variety of other things? Are you working enough? Are you maybe stealing from the company by pocketing material? How do you feel about companies using artificial intelligence to monitor, in this case, how close you are to other people during social distancing, or down the road, who knows what? Or do you actually think this is a great idea? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, Poland has apparently accidentally invaded the Czech Republic, as soldiers, in a quote minor misunderstanding, mistakenly crossed the border believing they were still in Poland and prevented some Czech nationals from gaining access to a historic site there because they thought they were trying to illegally cross the border into Poland. Only later to find out the soldiers were the one who were wrong and mistakenly occupied part of the Czech Republic. Thankfully, everybody agreed that, oops, this was a mistake. We're all going back to our proper areas. So, but kind of remember, check your map, check your GPS, make sure you actually know where you are. And lastly, last week it was reported that 7-Eleven Day, which is Free Slurpee Day, July 11th, had been canceled. It used to be if you bring in any object, you could fill it with a Slurpee for free. By the way, they're pretty good. I kind of miss them up here. My old house had a 7-Eleven right by it. They have announced, though, that they're not completely getting rid of it. They just don't want you bringing in your own cup and more for free Slurpee Day. So you can get a free medium Slurpee right there. Now, I'm a big fan of the Coke flavored ones. On a hot day, kind of nothing's better than an iced Coke. But let me know, is the Slurpee your favorite? Is those ice ones your favorite? Do you have a favorite kind of summer drink? But good news, if a Slurpee is your favorite, you're not going to miss out on Free Slurpee Day. You just may not be able to bring your bathtub to fill it up. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. It helps us a lot because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. And hopefully we can help you find some stories that you may not have heard about. Next week in the new studio, I'm going to get that ready this weekend. Can't wait to show it to you. It's going to be a work in progress for a little while, but I'm excited for what's to come. Take care, everybody. Be safe. I'll talk to you real soon.